So, I kind of had a shower thought the other day, right? So, in the upcoming World Cup, England and the USA obviously share a group together. So, hypothetically speaking, we beat England in our match, right? I propose that if we do in fact beat England, we officially rename the sport to soccer for the next 24 hours. Does that seem fair to you guys? Because I think it's fair. What's up, boys? Flock of flapjacks here, and here I am, once again, bringing you my first Elden Ring video in the post-Queen Elizabeth era. I can only imagine how lit Ireland and India have been. Anyways, we're heading towards the end today. I've probably got one more video of this playthrough coming up after this one that you're watching now, and that one is going to be the granddaddy finale, baby. So stay tuned for that. If you like what you see from me today, don't hesitate to subscribe. I don't bite, I swear. Thanks for showing up and showing out for me, whether you're a new or returning viewer. Enough of the chit chat, let's get into the video, my friends. We start off the episode with me carrying inside this structure while trying to multitask and figure out how the hell I'm supposed to get to Malekith. I had a Google tab open, I was trying to play at the same time. I don't recommend doing that. Now looking back on it, I think I had the most fun in Farum Azula. The enemies are challenging, but they're not like too difficult. It's kind of like the Goldilocks zone. You, my friend, have something that I am after. Was it you that was fucking the McChicken? If a gay man one day decides to transition to become a female, but in the meantime, they're still a man, does that mean that they're still a gay man, or that now they're a straight woman? He screams internally, for he does not know. Finally! A worthy opponent! Our battle will be about as legendary as the WNBA Finals. On guard! I won't lie, he started to cook me a little bit and kick my ass. If I wanted a kiss, I'd call your mother. It seems like I lost all basic combat skills in this fight. Okay, let's cut to the chase here. It took me quite a few tries to beat the Draconic Tree Sentinel, and I'm not too proud of it. Anyways, let's get on to the Goth Kitty Cat fight. I mean, I had no clue what I was doing going into this fight, and you'd think that by now it would be easier based on just how many videos I'd seen in challenge runs and stuff like that, but it's kind of like what I said in the last video. It's one thing watching it, and it's a whole different story when you try it yourself. I guess it's kind of like eating ass, you know? It seems cool for a lot of people, but I know damn well I'm staying on the sideline for that one. Houston, we have a problem. And the problem is myself. You know, this is a great game to play if you, like, hate yourself and you enjoy suffering. I wanted to try as many attempts as possible on my own before I called in Tyrone, because I felt like I didn't really learn how to fight against the Fire Giant and the Godskin duo. In future runs, I obviously need to only play by myself, so I accepted the fact that I would die multiple times in the name of science. Oddly enough, this is actually the attempt where I got Malekith down to the Malekith phase of the fight for the first time. Ugh, God, I love this phase transition so much. It might remind you of a corny anime scene, but I bet the first guy to see this was probably shitting his pants. And then I immediately died to a scripted opening. This right here is what I would call a satisfactory Beast Clergyman phase by my crappy standards. At this point, I can't tell whether or not I was still using my broken controller. Part of me wants to say no because I just don't remember having it for the Godfrey fight. But the other part of me wants to say yes so I can just use it as an excuse for my lightning quick reaction time. If there's one thing that I learned from the movie Predator, it's that if it bleeds, we can kill it. This fight is definitely easier with range attacks, but then again, it's hard to talk about ways to make a fight easier when you're literally using the rivers of blood. I was starting to recognize patterns in Malachi's movements and how I was supposed to dodge his attacks. It may not seem like it based on this absolute stellar bit of gameplay that you're seeing, but I was mainly trying to get a feel for what his attack strings could look like and what they couldn't look like. I'm talking out of my own ass, man. I had no idea what the hell was happening. I look like a Make-A-Wish kid out here fucking doing this fight. It took me about an hour before I reached my breakthrough on Malekith. And by breakthrough, I just mean calling in Tyrone for help when I had the opportunity so I could just cheese my way to victory. From watching back all the footage, it's very obvious that the first phase of Mike Shinoda is what was tripping me up a little bit. You would think that it would be the easier one, but the timing on the beast incantations was messing with my little smooth brain and I couldn't really get him down. All in all, I think the Malekith fight is one of the more fun ones in the game. He is the definition of a glass cannon, and I think that this sums up the guy that is gatekeeping the men of the lands between from reaching their ultimate goal: to die before the age of 30 with approximately $250 and a bag of chips to their name. Damn, I shouldn't have smoked that shit. Now I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. Would you guys say that I'm just a tad over-leveled for this point in the game? I don't know. It appears that all of the hoes have indeed been scared away. Alright boys, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for... Sir Gideon Othniel. Once I saw how much damage I did off the rip, I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be just easy as hell, kind of like the attempts I've seen online. That was until he started to beat my ass. I couldn't believe it. Gideon actually killed me. It's fine. I just called in Tyrone. You could probably guess what happened after.
Call a doctor!
I fucked your daddy.
Now listen here, my dad's been dead for 20 years, you son of a bitch.
Why you bully me? You fucking bitch, why you bully me?
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Migo, again. Migo, big tree, again. I think Hugh must have gotten the craziest sloppy toppy from somewhere because this man can't even remember what day it is or what his name is. You know, I'm mad. I realized I could have called this video A New King is Crowned. I mean, it would just make more sense that way. I mean, I'm technically going after Godfrey's crown. Once I beat him, then the crown is mine. You get what I'm saying? Say yes, or Amy Schumer will be hiding in your closet tonight. My first attempt at Godfrey went about as well as that time when Metallica decided to release an album with a snare mix that sounded like someone was trying to break and enter into Oscar from Sesame Street's trash can. I didn't know how to bait out certain attacks because I am what you may call trash. And there were even a couple of animations I just didn't know existed. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Well, you're gonna win on attempt number 2 because you're an absolute G and you decided to call in your best boy Tyrone. That's what's up. I may actually be the only person in the world that has actually gotten caught in Godfrey's stomp attack. I knew my build was pretty revolting, but was it really so bad that it made Godfrey just bug out and stop moving for 5 whole seconds? Had this ever happened to anyone else, or did I just discover a new glitch? After a couple more hits from Tyrone, Godfrey got sent into phase 2, and this is where the real fun begins. Not for Tyrone, though, because he got launched into the stratosphere and then got his back blown out like your ex-girlfriend whenever she'd just go over to her guy friend's house. Y'all be afraid to moan. I be in my girl's ear like, Urgh! Sometimes you just have to hold the L whenever you get too close to Godfrey's Earth Power attack. But luckily for me, I was able to trade some damage and get out of the way of his follow-up. He charged at me, but then I said swipe or no swiping and ended his life with one full Rivers of Blood wombo combo, baby. Indeed, my strength befits a crown, and his face befits these nuts that just got dropped on him, son. This reminds me of that time where I went to New York in the summertime and a street vendor was selling bottles of water for $7. $7 fucking dollars. I'd rather drink my own piss Bear Grylls style. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I can now say ladies because apparently 1.5% of my recent viewers have been female, by the way. It is the moment you have all been waiting for. You've witnessed me defeat Morgoth, King of Landel. You saw me get the better of Godfrey, first Elden Lord. And now, my friends, now... Wait, let me activate this first. Now, it is time for me to ascend to greatness by defeating a god amongst men and claiming my rightful place as Elden Lord. Alright, Radagon, it's just you and me now. Let's see what you got. Get that child's play at it. Oh, damn. Come on, bro. You hit like a bitch. Give me a good one. Damn, bro. I was only kidding. I don't want to start nothing, I swear. I evaded his hammer swing and got some good damage in, but then he hit me with the attack that turned out to be the bane of my existence for all of my failed attempts. And believe me when I say there were many, many fails. How many? Well, here's a short compilation from just that little session alone. There were many more failed attempts either side of this little section right here, but this upcoming part is the first time where I got the Elden Beast. The way I'm fighting Radagon now versus my later attempts after hundreds, yes, hundreds of failed attempts is very different. I'm playing very passively, but at this point I at least learned how to dodge a few of his attacks. Also, it's the first time I decided to bring Tyrone into the fray, and some of the things I learned are, 1, never heal when he goes for his long-winded hammer bonk. And the second is that, believe it or not, after a while I found out that fighting Radagon is actually much easier and enjoyable if you just do it without a spirit summon. Some of the later attempts will illustrate this better, and you'll probably see them more in the next video, but I found out that the split aggro you get from the split aggro that you get from the spirit summons can actually come back to bite you. Radagon's attacks can turn on a dime, man, and I mean, this dude's attacks have the turn radius of a friggin' smart car. There would be so many times where I would see him focusing on Tyrone, and then here comes my dumbass waltzing in, and I just get smacked upside the head with a one piece. I also had a bad habit of just getting caught in Radagon's grab attack all the time. A very good way to get humbled is to let a grown man beat your ass with a hammer. After I finished beating Radagon's ass for saying that Gen 5 is the worst generation of Pokemon, I came to the realization that I was just not ready for the Elden Beast. I say that, boy, I say that, boy, but he's pretty big now, boy, that's a big boy. Okay, let's see how I did on my first Elden Beast attempt right here. I actually managed to get hit by his Fire Breath attack when it was literally scripted as his first attack now. That's pretty cool. I managed to dodge the strikes of his 30-ton sword on the first try, though, which had me absolutely buzzing and over the moon. Second time around, I wasn't so lucky. I just wasn't used to the hitbox yet. Rings of Gold. A classic. If you actually ever take damage from this, I recommend uninstalling the game. I died shortly after that. Yeah, I mean, that's been known to kill a man or two. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled death compilation. After about 2 hours of attempts, I decided that I just needed a damn break from the insanity, which wound up turning into me not playing Elden Ring for nearly a month. Breaks can be good for you. What probably isn't healthy for you is having a crazed, tarnished maniac like myself delete half your health with a couple swipes of the rivers of blood. It's probably a good time to mention that I was on my hunter-gatherer shit, and I was just going around the world to collect a few things. Along with the blood of this member of the Knights Cavalry, I got every PvP player's second favorite Ash of War behind Corpse Piler. Next, I went on to take Godfrey's adopted son that is somehow less loved than Godric, Chodefroy. Taking him out gets us the Godfrey icon. I hate that I have to come back here. I hate it so much. Why am I here, you may be asking? It's to fight this goofy mofo right here. Is it fair that I'm doing this much damage to him? Maybe not. Do I care? Absolutely not. To be fair, I did almost die as a result of my own stupidity, but y'all know me. I've never died a single time while playing this game. Dragon Scale Blade haters may exit the premises immediately. I took out the double Knights Cavalry boss in the consecrated snowfield, but I forgot to record it, so you just get to see me stealing the clothing off their backs instead. I also have no idea how the hell I missed this weapon at the Caria Manor, but I guess better late than never to collect one of the best weapons in Elden Ring.
The One Piece is real.
Man, I don't even watch One Piece, I just think the memes are funny as shit. Next up is the Swarm of Flies. And next I had to go back to Farum Azula because there was something important that I had to deal with. Alex, I'm sorry, but this must be done. This'll be over quick.
Oh my god, he on X Games mode.
Damn, this is so sad. Can we get 100,000 likes on this video? In all seriousness, all the love and respect for Alexander. Alright, time for some more Radagon Beast attempts. Can we beat him this time? No. Nah. Nope. Maybe this time?
Nope.
Nah, not this one either. One thing I want you guys to keep in mind is that I was not kidding earlier when I said I may have tried this fight hundreds of times. I lost track after about 50, and there were even days where I wasn't recording any of the attempts because I just wasn't confident that I'd figure this fight out. Has Flock of Turtles finally met his match? There were a few pretty good attempts scattered in with all the other poo-poo caca gameplay that I was whipping up over the course of God knows how many hours of my pathetic little life. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but let's just say that later down the line, I pretty much got to the point where I could do the Radagon fight in my sleep, but then Elden Beast actually became the next problem that I couldn't figure out. I was not a very happy camper. I think this is what Purgatory is like. An eternity of hopelessly trying to overcome an obstacle with no end in sight. I'm tired, boss. I can't do this shit no more. Apparently, I just must enjoy being tortured because I wouldn't quit. At some point, I started tinkering around with my armor and my talismans to see if I could just come up with something, anything that would just end my suffering. It would take a few dozen more attempts before I discovered more effective ways to get off damage. This is the attempt where something finally clicked in my head though, and I would basically use this opening strategy for the remainder of all my attempts. Radagon takes a few seconds to begin attacking, and in that time, I can get off basically a full Corpse Piler combo that does a stupid amount of damage when taking into account damage from buffs and from my talismans and incantations and stuff like that. So right from the start, Radagon would pretty much be down to about 3,000 HP or a little bit more. His opening hammer swings would become second nature to dodge once I got deep enough into the trenches, and most of his attacks became an absolute piece of cake to dodge. The only ones that I would consistently have issues with were 1, his signature 3 hammer blows that sent out that big ass AoE, and 1 or 2 of his quick hammer lunge combos. Other than that, I pretty much had Radagon's number. This attempt was kind of sloppy by my standards at this point, but I'm just going to let it play out for the rest of the time and just let you see for yourself what I was struggling with and what I was good at dealing with. Now, as for the Cock Beast, I had already decided that Tyrone was going to be my secret weapon designed specifically for him. Give me that Elden Rump, boy. Yeah, I won't lie, I just started to get a little bit of a complex at some point because I kept seeing in YouTube comment sections that people were starting to consider the Elden Beast fight to be like actually pretty simple and easy. and I was over here struggling like a fucking slug in a salt mine. It's not even that the Elden Beast attacks are hard to dodge on their own, it's just that once you get him down to his later phases and he starts to combo them together, they just turn into a royal pain in the ass to deal with. I was feeling pretty good on this try, but unfortunately for me, I didn't realize that Elden Beast uses Elden Star's attack, and every time I see that attack, I get so irrationally angry. Why is it so good for the boss, but the version that we get to use is god-awful? I made it to Elden Beast again on the next attempt, but I died to the ring attack. I should be ashamed. The ensuing hours of attempts were nothing short of insanity-inducing, brain cell-reducing, and estrogen-producing madness. I think if I had $1 for all of my deaths during this ordeal, I'd probably have enough money to buy the entire state of Ohio. Not that I'd even want that, because it's probably, it's probably not a good investment, but one man's trash is another man's treasure. Unless it's Ohio, then it's pretty much straight trash. Just like my gameplay against Radagon and Elden Beast. Is this the end for Flock of Turtles? Has the greatest YouTuber in the history of Philadelphia finally met his match? Will that one girl on Hinge ever message me back? So many questions, and they may never be answered. Alright, ladies and germs, some quick words before I get out of here. Last video got over 2,000 friggin' views. I don't know whether to be happy or concerned that 2,000 plus people took time out of their day to sit down and watch my video, even if it was only for a minute or two. I've gained like over 100 subscribers in the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I just want to thank all of you knuckleheads for stopping by. I love the kind words, and I love the interactions, and I love that there's a little community starting to brew here. As per usual, if you enjoyed what you saw from me today, consider subscribing, as it's the best way to support the channel. I hope I was able to entertain you, if but briefly, because that's my goal and that will always be the goal. I've been Flock of Turtles. You've been amazing. See you guys later.